complex structure in the known universe. We've simply found nothing else that's quite like it. And we owe everything to our brains in terms of our species' story up until this point. The human brain is a marvel of evolution, packing about 100 billion neurons into something that weighs approximately 3 pounds only. Despite its relatively small size, however, it's only about 2% of our total body weight. The brain consumes roughly 20% of our energy intake. Ultimately, it has enough processing capacity to handle a billion operations per second. In general, it's the high neuron density inside our brains that distinguishes us from other species. For example, while an elephant's brain is physically larger, it's not as densely packed with neurons as ours is. Plus, elephant neurons are spread differently within their brains, and so elephants aren't as intelligent as we are. The human brain is also remarkably adaptable. It exhibits plasticity, which means it can reorganize itself by forming new neural connections throughout its life, allowing us to learn from experiences and react to change. It's due to our brains that we can see, think, touch, move, remember. Everything that makes us human is channeled through our cerebral center. Of course, it's also due to issues or even shortcomings in our brains that we can forget, display bias, misunderstand, or fail to notice something. As such, and over decades of modern research, the race has long been on to uncover how to get more out of what we all have inside our skulls. Before we get into it, though, there's one key and related concept that always comes up: the often cited idea that we only ever use 10% of our brains. Thanks to science fiction, including various characters with seeming superintelligence, it's then assumed that 90% is just sitting there, forever humming with potential, but never actually accessed. Broadly, however, modern neuroscience has debunked this as a myth. Brain imaging studies have consistently shown that even simple tasks engage multiple brain regions, indicating that the entire brain is active and involved in various functions all the time. It's simply the quest for efficiency that shapes how the brain is used at any one moment, rather than any or most of it being shut off by default. Indeed, much of our brains are already always on, busy completing all the tasks necessary just to keep us alive. If 90% of our brains really were to go dark, then we actually wouldn't live to tell the tale. If 90% were never to have been used in the first place, then we likely wouldn't have reached this point either. The allure of a literally untapped well of brain potential persists due to several factors, including the complexity of this immense organ and the existence of unconscious processes. It's certainly true then that there's a lot we still don't know about the brain. Efforts towards mapping it are becoming more and more refined, and the unknowns are steadily being removed. But there are gaps that remain, which brings us back to our desire to make more out of what we have. One seemingly quite simple way in which scientists believe we can enhance our mental capabilities is by building what they call cognitive reserve, broadly referring to the mind's resilience against damage or decline due to aging or even due to diseases like Alzheimer's. It's said that you can grow this reserve through lifelong learning. That is, by always engaging with new information, theories, and ideas, with anything that may challenge your beliefs and routines. Pursuing mentally stimulating activities such as learning new languages, playing musical instruments, or solving puzzles could, it's thought, increase the neural connections in your brain and thereby build up the reserve, with studies suggesting that individuals with higher cognitive reserve may experience slower rates of cognitive decline, particularly as they grow older. There is some debate as to exactly how far these kinds of conclusions can be taken, especially when it comes to specific neurological conditions. But in general, it seems that it really is never a bad thing to learn something new. So what's your verdict? Which of these methods do you think or have you found to be best when it comes to getting the most out of your brain? Is there anything in particular that you wish you knew more about, or that you'd like to become better at? Let us know your thoughts and experiences in the comments. Of course, and circling back to that AI revolution we referenced at the top of this video, it could soon be that we'll have new ways to push our minds further. With the advent of brain implants and the potential arrival of other seemingly more insidious tech wearables, there are countless possible routes down which humanity might travel. Perhaps for the better, perhaps for the worse, although that's for another episode. For now, what's clear is that you can make meaningful tweaks and changes even without near-future machines. You can see your own mind and raise it, because that's how you can really Unlock your brain.